moment. Never confuse these two terms. A turning force is the moment. Turning force is called a moment. Then the turning effects of a force is called the moment of force. The turning effects of a force is called the moment of force. So whenever we are talking about turning effects of a force, we are referring to the moment of a force. So never get confused if they tell you to calculate the turning effects of force or to calculate the moment of the force. They are the same terms. Then turning force is the same as moment. Turning force is the same as moment. The turning point or point of support is called the pivot or fulcrum. Let's look at this diagram here. You're seeing a diagram here. It is drawn in this form. Might be cellular. It has a certain, let me call it a pivot here, and a certain amount of force is applied here. A certain amount of force is applied here. So this is what we call the pivot. The pivot is the turning point, because if you apply a certain amount of here, this meter rule is going to rotate. It's going to rotate this side. It's going to rotate and it's going to turn. So it's turning where? From the turning point. You see that if this is my pivot here, when I apply the force on this side, it's going to rotate. So this meter rule is going to rotate, going where? Because this force will be making it to rotate. It's going to make it to start rotating. So this one is what we call the pivot. This is what we call the pivot, and the pivot, we can define it as the turning point. We call it the turning point or the point of support. The point of support which is supporting this meter rule is this turning, is this pivot, and sometimes we call it the fulcrum. The moment of a force is determined by two factors. The moment of force is determined by two factors. What are those two factors? It is the size of the force. It's the size of the force applied. How much force have been applied, the amount of force which has been applied. And another thing will be the perpendicular distance between the pivot and the line of action of the force.